Spin-offs. The perfect answer for when the story is over, but you still want to make money. Sometimes it works, and you get to follow beloved characters through stories that are on par or even surpass the original. Or you get to explore different parts of the world you're familiar with. And sometimes it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, wondering how on earth did this even get made, hoping people soon forget it so it won't be associated with the original. Looking at you, Slippin' Jimmy. You ever hear of generation loss? Slippin' Jimmy is the prime example of why you should never copy a copy. And if you never heard of Slippin' Jimmy, good. It's already working. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, a couple of great shows. I'll even throw in the movie too. Good thing they never made anything else associated with it. And yet nearly all spin-offs have something in common. Using your love for a show to milk it after the original story has completed. This goes for the good shows and the bad ones. But does it have to be this way? Leeching off shows past their expiration date? Doing the same thing in the same world with just different characters? What if you could surpass the expectation for what spin-offs are? What if you could make them better?
Don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better!
Gen V is a show I personally enjoy, but I don't think it's anything really special by itself. There have been many spin-off shows that are not only more successful, but also more entertaining. So the quality here isn't really what I'm talking about. Instead, conceptually, as a spin-off, it's really good. Doing a couple things that I wish more spin-offs would do. Starting off with one thing that most people who probably watched it are already thinking of. Season 1 of Gen V takes place between Season 3 and 4 of The Boys, both in-universe, but also on release. You typically see spin-offs made after the completion of the main series, normally showing events before or after. But having a show run alongside each other allows you to do some pretty interesting stuff, such as having more content within the universe in between seasons without having to rush the production of the main series, while also tying directly into the main show, which not only helps people stay engaged between breaks, but more importantly, allows more context to story elements without making the main series suffer. For example, the only people from The Boys that know about the virus are Mallory, Butcher, and Newman, and they only know it as a thing that exists. So going into Season 4 of The Boys, without watching Gen V, you know just about as much as anybody else in the show does, making Gen V not necessary to watch, as without it, Season 4 of The Boys would play out the same. In other words, the context that Gen V gives couldn't be given in The Boys. It wouldn't have worked, as it would probably just turn into an exposition dump, because the story surrounding the creation of the virus has nothing to do with any of the characters in The Boys, making Gen V perfect because it allows them to show, not tell. And I can't emphasize this enough. Since Gen V was released chronologically, it doesn't feel retrospective at all, which eliminates a lot of the big glaring plot holes and problems that could come from trying to expand a concept years later. Every detail in The Boys Season 4 was written with the exact understanding of how the virus was made, who made it, and why. So instead of either having just exposition about the virus, or having a story with characters we don't really know eating up the runtime of Season 4 of The Boys, we get the best of both worlds. A choice to explore it further, if we so desire, without the need to. But what makes Gen V work so well as a spinoff doesn't just end there. Another really smart thing they did, in my opinion, is that the main characters in Gen V are supes. Throughout The Boys, the superheroes have been the bad guys. Absolute power corrupts absolutely would be the best quote to describe The Boys. A realistic take on what it would probably look like if superheroes actually existed. Not good. With almost all the casualties being innocent people that cross paths of the supes, such as what's her name, what's his name, whatever this guy's name was, and this guy too. Oh, and all these people. It's made very clear that the supes are just bad people. Even the good supes like Kimiko and Starlight struggle with this. Kimiko wishing she never got her powers in the first place as it makes her feel like a monster, and Starlight going through an existential crisis blaming all the bad things she did on Starlight and all the good things on Annie, when in all reality the only thing separating the boys from the seven is their capabilities. You shoot up Huey or Butcher with Temp V and they start killing people. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, reinforcing the idea that supes are bad, regardless of who they are. Not only this, but the supes and the boys are nearly invincible, and that's shown in the show. The only way to reliably take down a supe is by another supe. Well, with the exception of this guy. Black Noir was killed by Homelander. Gunpowder was killed by a souped-up Butcher. Poppy Claw was killed by A-Train. A-Train also killed Blue Hawk and almost got a 2 for 2. And Ryan killed Stormfront. Well, I guess it was more of an assist.
Ugh, did she bite off her own tongue? Storm from $1 Million Baby herself. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, she was innocent too, so we can add her to the list. Point being is superheroes in the boys are scary, especially for innocent bystanders. Gen V shines a light on the opposite position. You follow supes and realize that they aren't the scary ones. Instead, they are the ones that are scared of themselves, of their power. It makes you sympathize with their struggles involving their powers more than the boys ever did. The show makes them relatable, it makes them human. And what better way to show this than to make non-supes the bad guys? They are the ones manipulating, torturing, and trying to kill innocent people. But this time, the innocent people are the supes. The supes that are struggling to be better, to use their powers for good. It portrays them less like wild animals trying to be tamed and more of caged animals trying to be freed. And that's why I think Gen V is a perfect companion piece to the boys. Not only does it build the world more, not only does it bridge the gap between season 3 and season 4 of the boys, not only does it give context to interesting and important concepts like the virus, but it also gives you a new perspective on supes, on the antagonist of the main show. It would only take you one episode to realize that this takes place in the universe of the boys. And yet, it does so much to add to it. This is what I wish more spin-offs would do. Add complexity to a show, make it feel like this was the plan all along, and not just a new cash cow after the first one ran dry. And that's why I think it should get more recognition for what it does. If you like the boys and want more of it, watch Gen V. If you like the lore of the boys and want to expand on it, watch Gen V. If you don't like the boys but college superheroes interest you, watch Gen V. And if you don't like Gen V, but you like the boys, then don't watch Gen V. You aren't missing out on anything that will lessen your experience. It is a show made to respect your time, your experience, and your interest, and allows you to freely find out where you lie on that spectrum. And that's why I think it's the perfect spinoff.